Everybody, how's it going? It is Wednesday, May 7th at 9:48 p.m. Trying to get my chat pulled up here real quick, guys. So we have some storms moving through that have caused some issues. I wasn't planning on going live. Sorry guys, my mic was muted. My bad. Great. I'm gonna get like 3,000 comments about the about the mic being muted. So to repeat what I said, I was not planning on going live. I figured, guys, these are just run-of-the-mill severe thunderstorms. Nothing we've never dealt with before. We did have some hail move through Fort Smith. Some windy conditions as well. Let me know when you can hear me, guys. All my comments are no sound, no sound. It shows my sound's on. Give me a second. Let me pull it up and make sure it's working. You're good now. Okay. I had like 300 comments from people saying we can't hear you. I figured it was good now. The storms that are moving through now have passed through Fort Smith and Van Buren and are now moving into Lavaca, areas north of Charleston, from Mulberry over to Ozark. The severe thunderstorm warnings is for eastern Sebastian and southern Franklin counties. And this is mainly for hail and strong winds. The tornado threat is extremely low to near zero. Guys, you can see the winds gusting out here at the bottom if you look closely on radar. I can circle it for you. You can see the winds pushing out here at the bottom. It's thundering at my house. These storms are getting pretty close to my house as well, which tells me with the winds gusting out from this storm, it's more outflow dominant, just straight line wind potential rather than tornadoes. But when the storms move through, it's probably pretty noisy. There's plenty of rainfall. We've already had hail reports. We had some hail in Fort Smith. I don't think the hail was real big. The biggest hail report that I've seen was from Kibler, which is in Crawford County, around golf ball size. Most of the hail in Fort Smith was around quarter size, so nothing insane. But these storms are moving off to the east. I'm going to stop the loop and show you. They are moving off to the east now, moving through Hackett, Greenwood. The hail potential on the southern storms is extremely low. If anything, I think they're real small. The most concerning part for hail remains there in southern Franklin and far northeastern Sebastian County. And this could move into eventually Logan County, so places like northern Logan County, north of Boonville, so near Coxville, Paris, Subiaco, and Scranton. Our max wind speeds with this probably expect around 60 miles an hour. Somebody asked about the wind speeds with this. Generally speaking, it doesn't look like the winds are just incredibly fast. But with that being said, we could still easily have wind gusts well over 30, 40 miles an hour with these storms. I'll have to look and see what the Fort Smith Airport registered on those wind speeds. But like I said earlier, I don't think the tornado threat's real high. I think this is more straight line wind potential along with hail and heavy rainfall. It does look like we have a little bit of hail there north of Ozark, just north of I-40. But overall, guys, that's it. Across most of the state, we're not dealing with anything right now. It's starting to rain in my house. But yeah, looking at Little Rock radar, not a whole lot going on outside of the complex here in western Arkansas that has sparked the severe thunderstorm warnings. I actually texted that burst came out of nowhere. No, it didn't come out of nowhere. I've been talking about this all day, Pam. I've posted about it like 3 times. I will give you credit, though. It did flare up right on the state line. I texted Scott Covert. He's the chief meteorologist at 5 News, and I told him, I said, I'm going to throw a fit if these storms don't do anything in Oklahoma and then go crazy in Arkansas, and that's exactly what they did. The moment they crossed the Arkansas border near Fort Smith and Van Buren, they got all cranky and produced hail and wind and all sorts of stuff. So I will let you know it is storming outside. So if I lose power, that's why. I lose power pretty easy here. So, Katie, we do have chances for rain tomorrow. Scattered chances, kind of like today. I don't think it's going to be a washout. But, Kevin, it does look like some blips up near Mountain Home, which is where you're asking about. Just looks like some sprinkles to me, buddy, though. I don't see any widespread storms at the moment near Mountain Home. The only part of the state that is dealing with thunderstorms, especially severe thunderstorms, is here in west central Arkansas near Fort Smith. Guys, I would fully expect for this activity to wane quickly due to the loss of daytime heating. The instability that we have access to is going away because we're moving into nighttime. I'm honestly pretty surprised that these storms were able to tap into what they did, but weather has a mind of its own. But Veronica's asking about Russellville. So Russellville's quite a ways over here, but these storms are moving to the east. So it is possible that they make it to you in Russellville, in Danville, Clarksville, Dover, maybe even Morrilton. I do think that a lot of this will fizzle with time. Some of the data earlier today did so. We'll watch it on radar, though, and see what it does as it moves east. But for now, I'm not expecting any widespread issues. The severe weather risk from the National Weather Service, they actually dropped the marginal level 1 of 5 risk from today, and it's just a general thunderstorm risk. So I was a little surprised that they did that, but at the same time I wasn't, because I was kind of in agreement with them, thinking that storms would struggle to intensify, but man, they proved us wrong. But so that's kind of what we're dealing with now, guys. It's 9:54 p.m. I have a lot of people asking, is this going to make it to Little Rock? I don't know. I don't think so. I can't rule out the chance for a shower tonight across a large part of the state, but the severe weather risk in that part of the state is extremely low. McKenzie says, is the tornado risk still low? Yes, it's extremely low to near. It's not zero, but it's close. Doesn't mean that we can't have one. Arkansas has proved me wrong so many times, but the tornado risk is very low. For those of you who are asking about Little Rock, in the Little Rock region, so this encompasses everybody there in central Arkansas, this activity is moving east, and I could see it surviving in the parts of central Arkansas, but if it did, I would think they would have very low severe weather potential, maybe just some rainfall, maybe some rumbles of thunder at best. I haven't looked at the latest high-resolution data to see how this carries into central Arkansas after earlier today, but I can check that real quick. So I can show you guys real quick what I'm looking at, and it does actually persist it a little bit. So this is high-resolution data, and it is picking up on those storms right here. 10 p.m., it's not perfect. This is a model. It's not a forecast, but you can see the model does bring those storms into parts of central Arkansas through the late night hours. It even makes it well into, areas north of Little Rock by, 1, 2, 3 a.m. It even persisted into eastern Arkansas by 4, 5, 6 a.m. So we'll see. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but we'll see. So like I said earlier, my message really doesn't change regardless of what that model says. These storms are going to continue east. I would fully expect them to wane with time and weaken with time due to the loss of daytime heating and instability. But I can't rule out a shower or some rumbles of thunder as it does move east tonight. So that's kind of what we're looking at now, guys. It's almost 10 o'clock. I'm not going to stay live for just some storms producing a little bit of wind. If we have anything pertinent, of course, I'll have it updated on my Facebook page and on my Twitter and whatnot. But for now, I think we're just dealing with some good old spring thunderstorms. I will let you know before I get off. I do think that next week, what is the 15th? Next week we'll just say the middle of next week through the weekend, we might have some opportunities for a little bit more legitimate widespread severe weather. So around a little over a week from today is on my radar. I haven't posted about it a whole lot because I wanted to see what the models were going to do with that. So I'll talk about that more tomorrow and have some updates on that tomorrow so you guys are aware kind of what to expect with that. But this is nothing compared to, widespread severe weather, what we're dealing with tonight. So I really appreciate you guys checking in with me, and commenting and viewing and reporting and sending me the hail reports from Fort Smith and Van Buren and all that good stuff in Kibler. So I'm going to read a couple comments and I'm going to get off here. C. Rain says, Ben Williams spoke so highly of you today on his stream. So new sub, thanks for going live. Ben is a great storm chaser, has a very bright future. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that you're watching Ben. He works really hard. Angel says, is the hail done in the Kibler area? I think so. Yeah, I don't think you're going to deal with any more hail, especially not golf ball size hail like you did earlier. James, I'm not sure what you're talking about. 17 to 19? Sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about. Alexia says, is there a storm coming to Mountain Home? I looked earlier and it was just sprinkles. I didn't see any lightning. Maybe some rumbles of thunder in that near Mountain Home, but nothing severe, nothing of note at this time. Krista says, how is Central Arkansas looking? So this activity is in Western Arkansas now, so a long ways from you. But it is possible that this will persist into regions of Central Arkansas later. I would have fully expect it to be sub-severe, but I didn't expect it to do what it's doing now. So, but definitely I think there's a chance that it does survive into Central Arkansas, rain, some rumbles of thunder, but nothing crazy. Marie says, will Northwest Arkansas get any severe weather? At this time, I think those chances are low unless something pops up here soon. The worst of it is well south of you, and it's moving to the east away from Northwest Arkansas. Cool. I see, James. The 17th to the 19th. I got you. That makes sense. Tammy, most of the hail sizes that I have seen are pea size, along with some quarter size hail in Fort Smith. So we'll see. James, I got you. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't realize what you were talking about at first. Does look like there's some wind kind of gusting out here. You can see the radar is registering. This is not super far from the radar site, which is in South Fort Smith, but around 50 miles an hour. So areas between Charleston and Coxville, likely dealing with some stronger wind gusts as this storm passes through. It does look like there's a little bit of a notch there. You can see here just north of Branch, this little kink, little calm ahead there. So we'll have to watch and see what that does. I still feel like the tornado risk is pretty low, but sometimes these things can spin up kind of fast and produce brief tornadoes. There is a low tornado risk this evening and this afternoon. It's not real high, but it's not zero. So, yeah, Lexi, that's what we were talking about just a second ago. There's no tornado warning or anything. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning, and I don't think the National Weather Service included a tornado possible tag on this. No, they didn't. They just did radar indicated for wind and hail. It does look like the south side of the storm winds are simply just gusting out. But I will say that is kind of an interesting look there, just north of Branch, between Charleston and Coxville. And looking at the velocity, it does look like there is, I don't know, there's not just a whole lot there. It looks like it's more of gusting out than anything to me. So, yeah, sorry, James. I didn't know what you were talking about at first, man. Yes, there's a lot of comments coming through. But that's kind of what we're looking at right now, guys. I'm going to check my phone real quick before I hop off to see if any reports or anything like that. It does look like we have some hail passing north of Ozark. You guys can see it on radar there. Right there, hail core just north of Ozark. This is Interstate 40 here. So if anybody's traveling down I-40 near Ozark, it is possible that you could encounter some large hail. There's no severe thunderstorm warning on it, though, yet. Cadence Labs sent me a report and said that there's trees down everywhere in North Fort Smith. Trees have hit our house and caved our roof and our neighbors. Oh, wow. Seems like we have quite a few wind reports in Fort Smith. This is interesting looking here near Branch. The reflectivity presentation on this is odd looking. It looks like it has a little baby hook on it. You guys see this? Right there. No tornado warning. Not trying to scare anybody, but that's interesting looking. Sorry guys, I'm not trying to ignore you or not talk, but I've got a lot of stuff coming in on social media from people reporting stuff from Fort Smith. It seems like there's a lot of people that are without power in Fort Smith. My phone disconnected from Wi-Fi too. Yeah, Hannah, I figured the winds are probably pretty strong near Charleston, Branch, and Coxville right now. Zach, we talked about that earlier. Some of this could survive into the area that you referenced, Greenbrier, so parts of north central Arkansas. It's going to have an easterly movement on it. So this could make it, over here north of Little Rock, kind of in that area. I would expect it to lose the intensity with time. I really don't feel like it'll maintain, but we'll see. If anything, some rain and rumbles of thunder. Yeah, 1,200 without power in Fort Smith. That sounds about right. Yeah, I don't, guys, this is, I don't know. The last update on my phone is, look at this thing, guys. North of Ratcliffe and Coxville. So, for those of you who aren't familiar, Highway 22 runs through Charleston, Branch, Coxville, eventually goes to Paris, Subiaco. This little hook is just north of Coxville now, right here. Guys, that looks like, unless this is just an anomaly, that looks like a really pronounced inflow notch in this storm, which tells me that there's some rotation here. It's not strong. Maybe I'm just misreading this, but I feel like it's fair to say that this storm is attempting to rotate at least a little bit. I don't feel like the tornado risk is real high. Just saying. This is the only show in town, guys. The only severe thunderstorm warning. It's in Franklin County. I generally don't stay alive for severe thunderstorm warnings, or I would be live 24/7. But this storm moved through a pretty populated area. I live close to this area, so I want everyone to kind of be aware of what's going on and what the longevity is expected with this. This is, like I said, the only storm of note in the entire state of Arkansas as of 10:06 p.m. on Wednesday, May 7th. So I'm going to check social media real quick and see if we have any reports of any wind damage in this area there in Franklin County, southern Franklin County. For some reason, though, I can't get my phone to load. I don't know what's going on with my internet. I just got a new phone, too. I'm going to give it a couple scans, and we'll go from there. It does look like they did put out a special weather statement for the storm to the north, so it's not a severe thunderstorm warning. It's not a severe thunderstorm warning there for the storm that's passing north of Ozark and headed for Coal Hill, Clarksville, Morrison Bluff, and then probably eventually Lamar, and it's likely due to this hail core right here just north of I-40. So that's moving off to the east now. We're watching this hook here in Franklin County, southern Franklin County. It's getting pretty close to the Logan County line there in eastern Franklin County, north of Coxville. Well, Carissa, asking why the storm isn't tornado warned, I think is what you're asking. Just because it has a hook doesn't always mean it's necessary to issue a tornado warning. Storms can rotate too, and no tornado warning be issued. Sometimes storms, a lot of storms, will weakly rotate, but it can be obvious at times. Like right now, I would say that the odds of this producing a tornado seem low for the moment, and I'm sure the National Weather Service would agree. Sometimes the National Weather Service will go ahead and put a tornado warning out of precaution, but in this scenario, I don't feel like they think it's necessary, and I can't say that I disagree with that for the moment. But the hook is interesting looking. That is certainly a look. I wish I was standing, because I'm crazy, right here looking into this notch to see what it looked like in the daytime. And you can see that notch is still kind of there. But this is moving into areas north of Coxville. I think that is Highway 23 that runs out of Coxville north to Ozark, and it is crossing that now. It's probably pretty windy. Let me see if somebody just commented. It does look like the National Weather Service did add a tornado possible tag on that, so that is interesting. No tornado warning. Sometimes the National Weather Service will include a tornado possible tag whenever storms have the potential to produce a tornado, but maybe it's not pertinent enough for a tornado warning. So if you live north of Coxville, if you live near Paris, north of Paris, if you live anywhere between Denning, Coxville, and Paris, if you would like to seek shelter, probably not a bad idea. It's going to be a pretty nasty storm regardless, but the tornado risk with this storm certainly isn't zero. It's low, but it's not zero. It did, yeah, James. It has a tornado possible tag on it now. I'm going to pull out my map real quick, and I wasn't expecting to do long-term coverage. Weather has a way of surprising you. So, it's passing north of Coxville now. It's passing over Highway 23. Guys, there's not a whole lot of stuff between Highway 23 and Highway 309, which runs north of Paris. They did issue the severe thunderstorm warning out. I'll talk about that in just a second. But I will say, I didn't mean that disrespectfully. I'm just saying it's a pretty rural area. But if you live on Sheep Farm Road, Bach Road, if you live near 6 Mile Creek, if you live off of North Carbon City Road, I used to be a dispatcher for Logan County Sheriff's Office, so I remember some of these roads. There's Short Mountain Road, Horseshoe Mountain Road. Those all extend from Highway 309 back over to Highway 23. So 309 runs north of Paris, 23 runs north out of Coxville. So this is moving to the east-southeast, and the severe thunderstorm warning does include parts of Logan County, southern Johnson County. So if you live in Coxville, if you live in Paris, if you live in Subiaco, if you live in Wilkins, if you live in Scranton, if you live in Lamar, if you live near Knoxville, Morrison Bluff, Scranton, maybe even as far southeast as Midway. I don't know if it goes all the way out to New Blaine, which is in Logan County. Excuse me. But this severe thunderstorm warning does extend out. And guys, just a reminder, this is the only storm in the entire state of Arkansas of note. This is really it. So, and this is tracking off to the east. I'll put it in motion for you. Coxville, yes, Coxville is included in the severe thunderstorm warning. It's moving through Coxville now. Paris is next. Subiaco, Scranton, Morrison Bluff, Coal Hill are next. Eduardo, I am concerned with hail. This storm has a history of producing hail. It produced some large hail near Kibler. It produced some hail in Fort Smith, and I'm sure it's producing hail there now on Highway 23 north of Coxville. It looks like there's hail north of Ozark as well, so certainly hail potential with this as it moves off to the east into Logan and Johnson County. It is 10:11 p.m. I would like to give this storm a couple more scans before I hop off the live stream to make sure it doesn't do something ridiculous. But for now, guys, this is just a severe thunderstorm warning. They did have a tornado possible tag due to the rotation here north of Coxville. And this is moving off to the east-northeast, or excuse me, east-southeast. No tornado warning, but there is a tornado possible tag from the National Weather Service in Tulsa for this storm. FZX Shorts says this will weaken out a lot before it gets to the metro. If you're talking about the Little Rock metro, which I think you are, yes, I would fully expect this to weaken before reaching central Arkansas later tonight. We'll see, though. I'll probably stay up and keep an eye on it. Deidre says, is Mountain Home clear tonight? Well, there's actually some stuff by Mountain Home right now. It's just showers. We don't see any thunderstorms or anything. I think Mountain Home is probably going to be okay tonight. I think a large part of North Arkansas will be fine, but this is the only show in town, though. This is definitely interesting, though. I mean, I'm willing to say you have like this loss of reflectivity here, which that might just be a radar artifact. But I mean, we went from having a really pronounced hook. I mean, I guess this storm might have wrapped up there briefly. Looking at the latest velocity scan, it's 3 minutes old, so we're still waiting on a new scan. But Ben, yeah, Jonesboro should be just fine. Jason says, any hail damage? No idea, man. I got some wind damage reports in Fort Smith, but I really haven't received reports from anyone else outside of that, outside of Kibler getting golf ball size hail. So those are the only reports that I have. Misty, yes, Hot Springs is way south of here. This is nowhere near Hot Springs. You're good to go. I'm trying to pull my social media up to provide reports that I'm getting, but my phone isn't wanting. It doesn't want to connect to Wi-Fi for some reason. And 5G might be the worst internet I've ever had. I just got a new phone. It's okay. Kylie, I missed your question. Russellville, this is to your west. Severe thunderstorms probably headed your way. So if you're in Russellville, London, Dardanelle, Dover, I mean, you guys can see it on the map. You're here. Zach, what are you doing? This is all moving to the east-southeast. So if you live in Atkins, Russellville, Dardanelle, London, Dover, if you live in northern Yale, southern Pope, it's certainly possible that could move into your location within the next hour or so. Excuse me. Yeah, no problem. Barbara, this is for northern Logan County. Boonville, Blue Mountain Magazine is not included in the severe thunderstorm warning, but Paris is. Paris, Subiaco, Scranton, all included in the severe thunderstorm warning. You can see the yellow polygon there. No problem. It's moving through Ozark now, Morgan. It should be out here pretty soon. The worst of it is over you now, though. I guess I'm going to have to pull up my... Caitlin, there's nothing in Conway County right now. The storms are well to your west. It could make it to you, but it's going to be a while before anything makes it to Conway County. There's no severe thunderstorm warnings. There's nothing in Conway County at all as of 10:14 p.m. 10:16 p.m., I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Hannah, I think I'm just going to pull up Facebook on my computer. I can get messages. I mean, my internet's running just fine. Not dropping any frames or anything. I don't really know. I just want to have my messages pulled up in case people send me reports. Holy cow. I'm going to show you guys this image of the storm moving into Paris. This is wild looking. Tommy Puentes sent me the... Of course, my computer did not include the last line where I put his name on. I'm going to have to fix that. This is what the storms look like that are moving through northern Logan County near Paris. That is an interesting look. Wow. So that's what the storms look like. Obviously, we're looking at radar here. But that's what this looks like here. I'm restarting my phone real quick, guys. I'm going to try to get this fixed. North Arkansas, guys. We don't have anything going on in North Arkansas right now. No severe thunderstorm warnings. There's a chance of showers and stuff, maybe some rumbles of thunder at times, but this is the only concern at the moment. There we go. My phone's back on. We'll give this storm a few more minutes, guys, and we'll probably hop off. Colin Butterfield says, sorry to ask again, how bad will this be? Colin, I'm not sure where you are, so I don't know how to answer that. Let me know where you are, and I'll try to respond intensity-based. Zach said, should I be fine to go to sleep in the Faulkner County area? Yeah, guys, this is nothing to stay up all night. I know that this storm kind of flared up for a second, had a little bit of rotation, but guys, this is a wind and hail maker. It might be noisy, it might wake you up, but I would not stay up all night sweating this one. Colton says, how's this looking near Paris and Ratcliffe? You're under severe thunderstorm warning. So storms moving in now, they'll be out of there pretty soon, but it might get pretty noisy for a few minutes, especially there between Coal Hill and Paris, Scranton, Morrison Bluff. Court says, how about Clarksville? You're under a severe thunderstorm warning. It's there in the top right of the polygon, right here. So storms are moving to the east-southeast towards Clarksville now. It's going to be storming here within the next 15-20 minutes probably. Tyler, there's nothing in Searcy, brother. This is on the other side of the state. The severe weather risk in Searcy is extremely low tonight. Maybe some rumbles of thunder if this makes it. Mackenzie says, what does Clarksville look like? You're under severe thunderstorm warning, so strong winds are possible, perhaps some hail, and plenty of heavy rainfall, all within the next 20 to 30 minutes. Absolutely, Hunter, of course. Mickey says, is Midway east of Subiaco involved? Yes, you are under severe thunderstorm warning in Midway. The worst of it might be to your north, but you are under the polygon that was issued by the National Weather Service in Tulsa. I want to reiterate, guys, that this is the only show in town. This is the only complex of concern, and it is moving to the east now. It could make it to this part of the state. I'm not so convinced that it will be severe if it does. I'll keep an eye on it, though. I might just have to stay up for a little while and keep an eye on these storms and see what they do, so... Yes, Ratcliffe is good to go. Whoever asked about that, Brittany, you should be fine. The worst of it is passed off to the east. Yeah, Angela, there's some showers up there in north central Arkansas tonight. Heavy rain. Thank you for the report. I do want to say, if anybody... Christian, I have talked about Central Arkansas. We just talked about it. Some of this might make it into Central Arkansas, specifically north of Little Rock, but it's a long ways away. We're talking like this area. It might make it, but I wouldn't expect it to be severe, especially late tonight. Ben, there is no severe weather risk in Jonesboro, brother. You're good. Josh, everything's passed through Mansfield pretty much now. You might have some stuff pass through on the backside, but I think the severe weather risk near Fort Smith, Sebastian, Crawford, a large part of Franklin counties is over. This has already passed through. Nan says, may I ask about Russellville? Yeah, the storms are to your west, so this is all moving off to the east. So Russellville's here. This goes for all of southern Pope County, northern Yell County, maybe eventually Conway County, depending on how this evolves. But this whole system is moving to the east, southeast. So if you're in Russellville, London, Dardanelle, Atkins, Dover, areas well north of Danville, these storms are likely going to move into your area within the hour or so, and they could be noisy. Gordon says, heard there was a tornado on the ground by 22 and 23. Who said that? Amy, there's nothing in Garfield. Nothing going on there. Ashton, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Logan County, but it does not include Magazine. It's north of you, up in northern Logan County. More so for Scranton, Subiaco, that area. Clarksville, Lamar, Knoxville. We just talked about Russellville, just a second ago. Philip, Batesville, Searcy, Independence, White County, that area, that's a long ways away, man. Batesville's up here. Searcy, someone would just ask about Searcy. This could make it tonight. Models suggest that it's possible, but I feel like the severe weather risk will be extremely low if it does. Especially with the loss of daytime heating. I'm really surprised we're still chugging along like we are, but it is May. So hopefully, if you live west of Searcy or Batesville, that answers your question, that it's possible. I think south of Little Rock is going to largely miss this complex. Can't roll out a shower. But the severe weather risk was highest today in western Arkansas, where these storms are occurring. And it's about to move out of what favorable parameter space there was available. So they have this warned. Somebody asked how strong the winds are in Clarksville. They have it warned out for 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. I don't think that the winds are just incredibly strong right now. But they were earlier. As they were moving there north of Coxville, I think we had some pretty strong winds there in Franklin County. I'll loop it real quick. I do want to say, if anybody watching this that lives in western Arkansas near Fort Smith, Coxville, Ozark, Van Buren, Kibler, guys, if you have been impacted by hail tonight and you suspect hail dents into your car, bottom left part of my screen, Autoplex Collision Repair. They're one of my sponsors. They sponsor me every month, no matter what. They're a local company. They do good stuff. They take really good care of me, and they'll take really good care of you. Just saying, write it down, send it to a friend. Autoplex Collision Repair. They've got locations in Fort Smith, Van Buren, Alma, Paris, Fayetteville. So it does look like the National Weather Service has upgraded this to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning with 70-mile-an-hour winds possible. Looking at the last scan, I didn't see anything too incredibly crazy, but it is possible with the leading edge. You can see this gusting out if you look closely at the radar. This extending out, and I'll loop the radar so you can see it right there. And this goes all the way up to north of Subiaco, and then of course up here by Scranton. So it could be pretty dang windy whenever it moves in. Excuse me. Sorry guys for the coughing. It's ridiculous. So this is something that I would usually go live for. So if you live in Subiaco, Scranton, Morrison Bluff, Clarksville, Lamar, it's certainly possible that you could have winds at a minimum 40, 50 miles an hour out of this. If the National Weather Service is warning it for near 70 miles an hour, that's pretty strong. So want everybody a big heads up on that if you live in northeastern Logan, southern Johnson, and even downstream if you live in southern Pope County, northern sections of Yell County, this is headed your way too. Gotta love people commenting on my feed talking about other people streaming. God. Oh my gosh. I know they don't mean it. It does look like hail is moving in, though, north of Subiaco and near Morrison Bluff and Scranton. You can see the radar depicting this right here and right here. Also, if there was a tornado, it would likely be in this area. I don't think there is a tornado right now. But this is moving into Scranton and Morrison Bluff here pretty soon. So if you live in those areas, certainly would not blame you one bit if you were sheltered up. I know there's not a tornado warning, but we could have a wind gust well over 40, 50 miles an hour. The National Weather Service has it warned for 70 mile an hour winds max. So strong to severe thunderstorm warnings, strong to severe thunderstorm for sure as it moves into eastern sections of Logan, southern sections of Johnson County. Fort Smith, the risk is over in Fort Smith. This has moved through Fort Smith. This is near Paris, Subiaco, and Scranton now, so Fort Smith is way back here. Angela, I can't roll out a shower overnight for Lead Hill, so I'm sorry, but I can't give you the all clear, but there might be a shower or two. So just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a heads up, this activity is moving on to the east-southeast. So if you live in London, if you live in Russellville, if you live in Dover, if you live in Hector, Atkins, a lot of towns there in southern Pope County that are likely going to be impacted by storms within the next hour. Christian, I don't have them on my page. Can you just send it to me? And this could go for parts of Conway County too, northern Conway County, with time. Yeah, Willie, I think the worst of it's moved through Paris now. Guys, I don't mean to sound rude or anything, but I don't, whenever I'm doing this, I don't look at other weather sources streaming, especially other weather pages. I have to focus kind of on my thing here. But yeah, this is really it for now. We do have that small thunderstorm up in northern Arkansas. That's near the Arkansas-Missouri line. It's passing over the Missouri border now, the bulk of it. So really just want to reiterate that this is really the only thing we have going right now, this storm in southern Johnson and Logan County. So if you live in central Arkansas near Little Rock, if you live in Hot Springs, if you live in Stuttgart, Hazen, Mount Ida, Malvern, this is nowhere near you. This is way north, and it's going to move off to the east. The best chance of downstream impacts for this is going to be, places north of Little Rock maybe, so like Greenbrier, maybe Clinton, Heber. I'm talking, way down the line here over the next hour or two. Just thinking out ahead, I would fully expect, I would hope that these storms would lose a lot of their steam by then. So hopefully that helps answer any questions you might have about where you live and what these storms are expected to do later on. But for now, they're moving through parts of Logan and Johnson County, Morrison Bluff, and Scranton. I want to reiterate the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service is referencing this as a considerable threat with 70 mile an hour wind gusts possible. So if you're in Morrison Bluff, Scranton, Knoxville, Lamar, Clarksville, east of Subiaco along Highway 22, certainly need to keep that in mind. I'm going to pull up. Guys, I'm seeing the comments too about dispatch calling out tornadoes in Logan County. I haven't received anything about anything like that at all. I did see we had some weak rotation earlier near Coxville, but I haven't seen any photos, anything like that. Heather says, I'm in Little Rock. Didn't even know there was any weather anywhere tonight. Thank you for this. Heather, follow me on Twitter. I've posted about it a couple times today. On Facebook or anything like that too. So I got you covered. I'm going to pull up my messages real quick and see if anything news came in. I don't have any reports at all. So, guys, I'm not saying that I'm blessed with a large following. And generally, if something happens, I generally get reports. And I feel like if we would have had a legitimate tornado in Logan County near a populated area, somebody would have told me. So that makes me feel better about it. I'm kind of wondering if somebody did the whole take a picture under a shelf cloud where it looks like the cloud is like coming straight down above the horizon and it looks like a tornado, but it really isn't. We do have hail, though, likely moving into Morrison Bluff and Scranton now. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have any severe thunderstorm like wind damage in Logan County because I would be surprised if we didn't after this moving through here. But as far as tornadoes go, I don't know. I don't have any reports of that. Winds are certainly strong with this, though, guys. They're just east of Subiaco. The radar's estimating winds, well over 40, probably close to 50 miles an hour. And we could have some locally higher gust as well as this pushes through. Whitney, this isn't anywhere near Hot Springs. This is all up close to I-40. So can't roll out a shower down there in Hot Springs, that area of the state tonight. But yeah, this is way north of you. Chase, sometimes stuff gets dispatched as tornadoes and whatnot. But yeah, for now, I don't have any reports of a tornado in Logan County. From earlier is what I'm referencing. Anytime we have wind damage, it's generally associated with tornadoes, but a lot of times it's just straight line severe thunderstorm warnings. Absolutely. No problem, Whitney. Sleep good. I'm going to give this storm a few more minutes here, and we'll probably call it quits and hop off the stream for the night and just watch it on radar. But I do want everyone to know they trimmed the severe thunderstorm warning down. It no longer includes Paris and parts of western Logan County, but it does include Subiaco, Scranton, Morrison Bluff, Clarksville, and Lamar. It's passing over Hartman now. It's crossing. It's running over I-40 pretty much from Knoxville all the way over to east of Whitaker Village. This is going to continue off to the east. Kayla says it's hailing super hard in Scranton. How big is the hail there, Kayla? I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Probably not too big, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's between pea and quarter size. Yeah, storms are moving towards Knoxville now. So if you're in Knoxville, it's going to be moving in soon, Keith, within the next 20 minutes. And it is a severe thunderstorm warning. Callis says ping pong size hail in Scranton. I'm going to go ahead and report that. Yeah, they did. They did downgrade the warning as well, which is good, but which I think was fair. It does seem like it's went down just a little bit. So, but the hail is moving over Morrison Bluff now, and somebody reported in the comments that the hail size was near ping pong size. So some of that could be quite large, pretty noisy as it moves through Morrison Bluff and Scranton and toward the Knoxville area. So, guys, I want to do a quick reset real quick before I hop off. It's 10:39 p.m. It's Wednesday, May 7th. We have one storm really of note that's causing a little bit of problems tonight. That's it, and it's this severe thunderstorm warning near Morrison Bluff and Scranton and Logan and Johnson counties. This is going to continue moving off to the east into Pope County soon. Excuse me. And it could move east with time. So this whole complex could move east with time and move into this part of the state here, north of Little Rock. So Conway, Morrilton, Greenbrier, Holland, Quitman, Clinton, Shirley, Heber. Areas east of that, I feel like the odds of severe weather seem pretty low. I'm not saying that it's absolutely zero and can't happen, but I feel like storms will lose intensity with time tonight due to the loss of daytime heating and instability going down. That's my thoughts for now. We'll see what happens. I'm probably going to hop off, watch the storms on, I've got radar products that I can watch. I'll post on Facebook if anything comes of note. I generally don't stay live just for a severe thunderstorm warning. But of course, if we have any tornado warnings or anything like that, I don't think we will. Famous last words. But if we do, I'll be sure to hop back on live and go over it with you guys in motion. So thank you guys so much for watching. I want to say a big thank you to Autoplex Collision Repair for sponsoring this live feed. Air Masters of Arkansas, which is down near Little Rock. They cover Central Arkansas. And 1312 Cleaning and Restoration. If you have a disaster in your home or you just need some cleaning help, they'll be there when you need them most. So my name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. And thank you guys for tuning into this.